Good morning, friends, and welcome to another edition of Whitey's World. Today's adventure keeps us pretty close to Page. We're going north to what folks call Yellow Dome or Yellow Rock. If you Google it, it's a pretty sketchy trail up to the actual trailhead to the dome. But once you get there, it's slick rock. It's on that beautiful Navajo sandstone that looks like melted ice cream. There's about an 800-foot vertical gain. But once you get to the top, the vistas are amazing. It's looking back into the Paria Box as well as Cottonwood Canyon Road and even Hackberry Canyon. So as always, plan ahead, drive safe, and we'll see you on the road. Thank you for joining us. Yellow Dome lies approximately 31 miles from the north end of Cottonwood Canyon Road from Canyonville, but the shortest approach is from the south, a roughly 14-mile drive from US 89, initially over grassy hills and then down into the Paria River Valley, along the base of low cliffs for a few miles and over a saddle into the adjacent valley of Cottonwood Canyon, which is bordered by the amazing Coxcomb and a jagged ridge of upturned strata. Cottonwood Canyon Road can be rather tough at some times of the year and is completely impassable after rainfall. But in dry conditions, the route is usually fine for most vehicles, especially with clearance and four-wheel drive. Other nearby trailheads, both with BLM notices, are Hackberry Canyon, which lies to the north, and Paria Box to the south. There are many good places for free camping in the vicinity. Taken from the Geology Road Guide, Cottonwood Canyon, Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument. And I quote, "You can see the older Navajo and Carmel formations if you look across the Paria River below. The strong white sandstones of the Jurassic Navajo Formation lie along the skyline. They are nearly vertical, so you are actually looking down at the top of the layer. The Navajo forms the white cliffs of the Grand Staircase and also act as an important groundwater aquifer for the region. Many springs issue from the Navajo Formation. The red rocks just in front of the white Navajo beds are weaker mudstones of overlying Jurassic Carmel formations." End quote. Taken from the Geology Road Guide, Cottonwood Canyon, Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument. And I quote, "Large angular boulders of tan-colored sandstone lying on the ground to the east of the road have fallen onto the tropic shell from the cliffs of the overlying Straight Cliffs Formation, which cap the ridge to the east. The softer tropic shell forms a weak, easily erodible foundation below the cliffs. As the tropic shell is washed away in the rain, the overlying cliffs lose their support and break off and tumble down the slopes. Obviously, this poses a danger to hikers, drivers, and any structures in the areas below the cliffs, especially during rainstorms and after the winter thaw." End quote. Taken from the American Southwest.net website. Yellow Rock Trail. The valley of Cottonwood Creek is bordered to the west by a line of steep white cliffs, but a small side canyon immediately west of the parking lot provides a route to the top of the bluff. Yellow Rock rises up just between and mostly out of sight from the road, visible a little way south from the saddle between Paria and Cottonwood drainages. The hiking route is to the west, through some bushes and across Cottonwood Creek, which may be dry in the summer, but for the most part of the year, it's very shallow and is a flowing, gentle wash with sandy corridors lined with cottonwood trees. Once at the mouth of the little ravine, a distinct path appears, ascending rather steeply up the north side of the ravine with some scree and some scrambling, around the head of a small valley and out to the flat ground of the rim of the cliffs, where the Yellow Rock appears directly ahead. The trail, which is partly cairned, crosses open, lightly vegetated terrain to the south of the sand dune and to the end of the dome. At the summit, a short distance later, the path continues for about 1.5 miles to the junction of the Paria Box Trail. Taken from the AmericanSouthwest.net website, and I quote, Yellow Rock, or what locals call Yellow Dome, is located off the unpaved Cottonwood Canyon in the west central region of the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument. Yellow Rock is a unique smooth-sided dome of swirling, multi-covered Navajo sandstone, completely without any covering vegetation, and high enough to overlook many square miles of surrounding area. The far-reaching views are one attraction, but the main reason to visit is the amazing diversity of colors and textures. Yellow is the main hue, but the sandstone is crisscrossed with straight and wavy bands of many shades of red, pink, white, green, grays, and a combination with layered thin surfaces to create a variety of patterns. The rock has been known to locals for years, but has become a relatively popular destination since appearing in Michael Kesley's Paria River book, published in 2004, and is typically visited by 1 or 2 dozen people each day during the summer. Taken from the Geology Road Guide, Cottonwood Canyon, Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument. And I quote, many layers in the Navajo sandstone layer contain swooping cross-bedded or deeply dipping diagonal lines within the beds. Crossbeds form as dunes migrate downward. Sand is blown up the backside of the dune and then avalanches down in front. Each crossbed marks a tiny avalanche of sand that occur on the front or downward side of the ancient sand dune. The crossbeds not only mark the location of the front of the dune at various time periods, but also tell us the direction of the Jurassic winds because the crossbeds dip into the downward direction. Most of the crossbeds in the Navajo Formation dip to the south, the direction towards which the prevailing winds blew at that time. End quote. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Whitey's World. Today's adventure took us to Yellow Dome, located conveniently outside of Page, Arizona. Please take a look at our other videos that highlight the many adventures located near the wonderful city of Page, Arizona. We look forward to seeing you on our next adventure, and as always, plan ahead and drive safe.